Hello and welcome, crafty friends. My name is Lynn, and today I'm going to start off with a little bit of glimmering. Now, I thought that maybe this would actually be my card front, or at least a panel that I put on my card front. So I was very specifically glimmering onto this area, but in the end, I actually used the coordinating die to cut this. It's the Spellbinders July Glimmer of the Month, which is really lovely. All of the July Club kits, I believe all of them, are Christmas themed, so it's a little bit of Christmas in July, which I absolutely love. And I am glimmering with, I know it's so boring, but it might just be my favorite foil, which is just their black. I love their black and the opaque black. I know they're not super shiny, and it basically just makes it look like you stamped an image. But I love it. I love it because it's such a crisp, clean line, and I'm glimmering, in case you're curious, onto Hammermill Super Smooth. It's their digital copy paper, 100-pound. It is really, really consistent in terms of getting results. The best cardstock that I have found is Spellbinders' actual specialty glimmer cardstock. But I knew that I would want to be stenciling and coloring this in, and so that's why I did not use the Spellbinders specialty paper, because that one, it's actually it's a little bit like Yupo paper in the fact that it's I think got some man-made materials that aren't just, the wood pulp that's been processed. I think there's something in there that makes it a little bit non-porous, and so when you color onto it, it doesn't take the color in the same way. Now, if you are a huge Spellbinders fan and you get the deluxe caboodle where you have all 10 club kits, which is the best deal, because then you're getting a huge discount on all of the clubs and you get all of the amazing sets. The freebie is this stencil here, which coordinates with the Glimmer of the Month. And so what I've done is I actually have 2 shades of green and this rather dark blue. And I'm just putting a little bit of the blue in the shadow area. And I started with my lightest color. I added a little bit of the darker green in the shadow areas. I put a touch of the blue to deepen those shadows even more. And then I'm doing the whole thing over again. I did another layer of the lightest green, and I'm going in with another layer of the darker of the 2 greens. And that way it just makes the colors blend even more. And look, you get all of that lovely, it kind of looks like you have some dimension, even though this is just a 1-layer stencil. But the openings for those leaves are big enough to actually, get a little bit of a gradient going, get a little bit of some highlights, some shadow areas. So this is just a way to kind of make it, it's so much faster and easier than alcohol marker coloring. Because I feel like I can get such a smoother blend. I'm using Versa Magic inks by Sukaneko. I really love Sukaneko. They have so many different lines of inks, and their Versa Magic inks are a pigment ink that are a little bit chalky. They have a little bit of that milky, chalky finish, which makes them sort of akin to your Distress Oxides if you are a Ranger fan. The difference being that Distress Oxides are actually a hybrid ink. They are a mix of your pigment ink and your dye-based ink, where the Versa Magic inks are pigment. Now, I tried to do the same thing with the holly berries, where I have a lighter, kind of a pink, and then a red, and then a deeper red. But the berries, they're so small. And especially with the brush that I'm using, it's such a big brush, relative to the size of the berries. So I didn't get quite as good of a, highlight to shadow differentiation, but there's a little bit of something there. Next, I have the stencil of the month, and I'm going in with the same 2 shades of green. I'm gonna start with the lighter, and this one is actually a layered stencil. There's actually 3 stencils in the set. This one that has the leafy portion, the next one has the stem of the leaves, and then the third stencil, which I actually don't use on this card, has the holly berries. And I'm doing a lot of the stenciling because I actually made this card as part of a Crafty Fun collaboration hop that I organize among my own friends. This month we are hopping over on Instagram, so if you want to check out everybody else who participated in this hop, I'll leave a link to my Instagram profile and in the description box below. It's just LV Handcrafted, and you can hop on over there. There isn't a giveaway or anything. It's just for fun. It's just to get some inspiration, and so you can see I keep those hops really short. There's actually a maximum. I only take up to 8, so past that I don't actually accept more. And that way, hopefully you can make your way through everybody on that hop list, and it shouldn't take too much time. But I love using the Crafty Fun collaboration hops as ways to just sort of use some things, do techniques that maybe I don't do often enough, and it's a fun way for me to actually get some inspiration myself. So a lot of times that's sort of what drives what I pick for our theme that month. And we do have hops on the 9th of every month. Most of the times those hops are on Instagram, and sometimes they'll be here on YouTube. So now that I have everything stenciled, I'm just going to ink up some of these panels here. So you first saw me ink up my card base itself, the front, and I took the darker of the 2 greens and I just inked around all of the 4 borders. Then I took a nested A2 rectangle die set. I die cut that stenciled panel with the leafy greens. And I also die cut another bit of scrap cardstock out of white, and I inked up the border with the lighter of the 2 green inks. So everything's going to match 100% because I'm using the exact same ink colors that I used on my background, and the exact same green inks that I used on my focal image, which is my holly berry and leaves, this sprig here. And I did use the coordinating die to die cut that out, and as well die cut it out of some just plain white cardstock. This is my thinner white cardstock, so you probably won't believe it, but that's actually like 3 layers of cardstock, but I think it's only 65 pounds, so it actually did not end up adding too much thickness, but that's okay. I just wanted a little bit of thickness to really make this piece feel a little bit more substantial, so I really love how that turned out. And I know that black glimmering is so boring, but I love it so much. I know there isn't as much of a shine and a shimmer, which is what normally you would be using a glimmer to do, is to get that lovely shiny foil, but I can't help it. I still really love the black. I love both the opaque black, which is a little bit more matte, as well as this one, which does have a little bit of a shine to it. And I used the same black on the glimmered foil, or the glimmered joy sentiment as well. And there is a second sentiment. It says wishing you, so you could make a full sentiment of wishing you joy. But I'm just going to use the joy. I really like how bold it is. And I'm using some 3D glue gel, because part of this sentiment is it's going over so many different layers. Part of it's covering the holly sprig there. Some of it's over 3 layers of cardstock, 4 layers of cardstock, 2 layers of cardstock. It's just like kind of all over the place. So the glue gel just helps so that I can just kind of tap it down a little bit and get it to be level, and it'll just kind of squidge down and do what it needs to do to level off and go where it needs to go. So here's a close-up look. I love how the stenciling turned out. It looks like I colored this image, but I totally didn't. It took no time at all. I love having the stencil for that reason. And the background stencil is great too. Everything is coordinated because I used just my inks. There was no colored cardstock, and so everything's a perfect match. I hope you enjoyed my video today. Do pop on over to Instagram and check out what my friends crafted with and how they use stencils on their projects. Thanks again, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Bye.